Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. We're going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio. I get excited about this one because I think the opportunity here is probably the best of any that we offer for the right producer. And so I will say as we get started, if you think by the end of this webinar you might be a producer that would be a good fit for Retirement Boss Radio, I want you to give me a call and talk about what we might be able to do here at IAMS to help you get settled up and get going in your area. Some of it might depend on the quality of your area, of course, and what we have available in terms of slots that will work out. But if we've got a good slot, you've got a good area, you have some interest in getting to the radio, we might be able to help you with some of those expenses because the opportunities right now to get in front of get in front of clients is just too great. So hopefully after we finish, Dave finishes here shortly, you'll get excited about that. Speaking of Dave, so Dave, of course, President of Lazarus Coaching, he's also a producer in his own right. He's been a top producer with us for probably 20 years now. Been in the business since the early 80s. 1981, he got in the business. In that time, he's done 560 or 570 seminars in front of consumers. That's a big number. It doesn't sound, actually it does sound like a big number, but when you think about that over 43 years, you're thinking, well, that's not very many. You might want to do that math again because that's a lot of seminars that David has done in front of consumer groups. He's been doing radio as well for about 25 or 30 years of that, whether it's the quick commercial, which by the way don't work, after market reports, which are great for gaining notoriety, or what we're talking about now, which is a radio show, which is a way that you can actually gain appointments. And that is the goal and function of this radio show, is to gain appointments. Obviously, you do build notoriety. People start to recognize you a little bit more in your town, which is great. That's a good side benefit. But the benefit, what we're looking to accomplish with the radio show, is actually get you, that 10 to 12, 14, 18 appointments each month with people interested in talking with you about their financial and retirement plan. So really, really good stuff. That Dave has some experience there. He has built Retirement Boss Radio and been working with it now for the past 4 years. The difference between Retirement Boss Radio and what he's done in the past in terms of full hour radio shows is this is a recorded radio show. So gives you the chance to kind of knock out the bloopers, add the production in a really solid way to make for a really good product. So it's a win-win-win. Radio has gotten to be more and more popular here. More people are listening to radio, oddly, today than they were pre-pandemic. So we've seen a nice increase in response rates also as people have been listening to more radio. And I think that's a kind of another side benefit, a good timing benefit to what we've been doing. So buckle up, going to be a great webinar. I'm going to zip through a couple things. And as I do, if you have a question, whether it's during the front part here or during Dave's, go ahead and type it in. We'll try and get it asked and answered as quickly as possible. There'll be a poll or two that will pop up. I'm just going to ask you all to give me a yes or no as quickly as you can. You're just indicating interest. Usually if I don't see a response, I'll have the team call you in response to see if there's, because I know sometimes technically that can be an issue. So if you have interest, put yes. If you're not sure, you can put nothing and we'll call you. If you don't want to get a call, then put no. And let's get going here. So I want to make sure that you all were aware of a couple of things. We've got a good group here, good mix of new producers and a very, very solid group of regular producers. And I understand that radio is not for everyone, but I do believe that the more experienced you are, the more beneficial that it can be, because it does get you introduced to some really good clients to walk through the process of that retirement planning. But you still have to have that good retirement planning solution, process that you've helped people through in the past. And I know that many of you on here are very good at that. So we do have some of you that are new. Look at the new producer builders there. One of them does include radio. Basically, what I want you to know is, I know it gets passed up. Maybe people don't see this. They don't see the flyers come out when they're just getting with us. So for the first 180 days, you are eligible at various levels to choose among different ways to help your business grow. Some of those are just straight rewards. You see a Ritz-Carlton vacation or some cash rewards you can take advantage of as well. But I want to just put a reminder out here for those of you that are new to us, check in on those new producer builders with your sales director. We also have the referred producer program and the marketing reimbursement program. Those are two great programs. Put a little extra money in your pocket. The biggest checks that we send out right now are on the referred producer program. There's nothing that limits us from thanking you with cash for your referrals. And the way that we do that is we pay you a bonus based on what your referral does year after year after year. So as long as you're with us and doing business, we pay you a small commission bonus for that. That money does not come out of their pocket. They have access to every benefit that you have access to. So if you have somebody that you think might be a good fit for IAMS, call your sales director, say, hey, I'd like to refer this person. They'll put you in as a referrer. And then if that person gets appointed, we'll send you a check for $50. When they start doing business, then the real checks start coming out where you get literally, we send guys thousands of dollars for their referrals. So we love doing that. Marketing reimbursement is a very easy program, easy in that you don't have to do much. All you do is send business in. We put credits in your marketing reimbursement account. You send us receipts for your marketing stuff, and then we help match your expense for your receipts. So basically doubles the power of your marketing dollars. Firelight, I'm going to just briefly say everybody's now doing e-apps. I know most of you on here right now are doing your business via e-app. I encourage it. I know for those of you that have converted already, you don't need much encouragement at all. It really is a safe, easy, complete way to do business with clients. Many of you know that even if your client doesn't have the ability to work with you from let's say they don't have a Wi-Fi network that you can hop on, you can basically go in, do the application with your client over the phone, pull in the blanks, print it out, and take it to their house and have them sign it, and then reload it back into Firelight. And you say, well, why would I do that? What's the benefit of that? Number one, you've got all the forms, right? Which is great. Number two, carriers are processing Firelight apps literally overnight, where paper apps right now are taking 3, 4, 5 days for them to even look at. Some of that's because they're not getting as many paper apps as they used to, and of course Firelight or an e-app is much easier for them. But I would encourage you, if you're still considering, should I do it, how do I do it, what's the issue, call your sales director. And this is a train that you're just going to have to get on board with. I would say we're probably just a year or two away at this point from most carriers just going all e-app. So if we can help you with that, the beauty of doing it with IAMS is we have single sign-on. So you don't have to go to every carrier's website to get their e-app. All you can do is go to our website, pull up the carrier, and all of their products will be out there. You select it and go from there. So you don't have to, and if you're going to do 2 apps on one client with 2 different companies, you don't have to put the information in twice. You just put it in once and then do a cut and paste to the new application, and bingo, most of that app is going to be filled right in for you. It's a couple of the reasons really why most guys and gals now like that e-app process. We'd love to have our advertising team help you grow your brand in your area. A radio show could do that for sure, but there's other things that we can do to help you grow your brand in your area. So call your sales director to ask them how they can do that. One of the things that a lot of our guys use, and we take care of the expense of it for all of our producers, is the Retirement Analyzer. It's a great software tool that you can use to help grow your business and help your clients. You can see some of the questions there that you can answer, and a lot of that has to do with the quality of the software. So we've been working with the folks at Thomas Gold who put the Retirement Analyzer together for about the last 18, 19 years. On the basis that we are right now, and they have continuously improved their product and done a fantastic job really of improving their product and making it better. And so that's why over the last 10, 12 years, we have actually paid the cost of that for our agents that are producing with us. It's a great solution to build your relationship with your clients, to get more business from existing clients, to keep that relationship with your clients strong. And once you've done a couple of them, and it's not for every one of your clients, you and I both know that there's some of your clients that you're doing a single transaction on a isolated piece of business and don't want to have that don't need to have, or that long-term relationship's just not going to exist. But you've got your A, B, and C clients that you can help them through planning their retirement journey and getting comfortable with where they are and where they're headed, and keep them updated on an annual basis of what things look like. That's what the Retirement Analyzer will do for you. And we found many of our best agents will not even do an application now without doing a retirement analysis for their client beforehand. Again, we make that available to you at no cost. If you have some interest in that, give Marcus a call, give Justin a call here at our office. There are a couple sales directors that kind of head up in the implementation of the Retirement Analyzer for you. They can walk you through the process, get you a link, let you try it out. Even if you're just getting started with us and you want to try it, let them know that you were on the webinar today and I said we could get you 30-day access to it. You can try it out, do one on yourself, do it on a client, and see how it works for you. I wanted to make sure that you were all aware of Life and Annuity Academies. Over the last couple of years, we hadn't been able to do as many. We did a couple in 2022. We did none in 21. We did none in 20. Did one early in 2019. We're going to do 6 of them this year. In fact, the first one is going to be next week. But we're going to have 5 or 6 more. A couple of them just very specific to life insurance, but the bulk of them, both life and annuity product sales and marketing ideas heavy. We're going to do a couple here in our office. We'll do a couple in conjunction with carriers, and we're going to make it easy for you. We're going to take care of your expenses, your flight, travel, hotel. All it's going to be taken care of. We're going to take care of your meals. And so what you're going to commit to that is you're going to commit to coming in and learning about and taking home a lot of information on sales and marketing ideas to help you grow your business. And if that's what you're looking to do right now, the Life and Annuity Academy is going to be a tremendous fit for you. If, on the other hand, you're pretty happy with the level of your business and happy, and I know that's possible right now. I see the flow of annuity and life business coming right now. I know markets doing what they're doing and interest rates doing what they're doing has gotten our producers in front of a lot more clients than ever before. And it may be that you've got the clients that you want to see in front of you. That's great. But if that's not the case and you want kind of a flood of ideas that can help you grow your business, I think that you'll like the Life and Annuity Academy. In fact, I'm going to do this. You can see, hopefully you've looked at the slide and you know some of the things that we talk about. We're going to talk about some of the basics, but not much. So if you're still trying to figure out a little bit about, and I'm just looking at our group here, and I don't see that really necessarily to be the case, but if you are looking at, just trying to learn a little bit more about life and annuities in general, that's probably not going to be a good fit for you. But if you know how annuities work, fixed index annuities work generally, life insurance, index UL, how these work generally, and you're looking for a little bit of kind of that level 201, then this is probably going to be for you. And if marketing is important to you, it's definitely going to be for you. So I'm going to throw this poll up really quickly. This is, as I mentioned, let's get this thing going here. So give me a quick yes or no. If you're unable to vote, we'll give you a call. Or if you just want to call in, it's 800-255-5055. But the general idea would be here is if you have interest in joining us for Academy, put yes. We'll send you out a registration form, and then as they come up, as I mentioned, this one for next week is full. But we will have opportunities, another 4 or 5 opportunities between now and October or so of this year. So there's going to be plenty of other opportunities for you to come in. So you get a registration form, you fill it out, then we know that you're interested, and we'll give you a call and follow up with you and see if the Academy is something that you want to do. So if you have a second right now, go ahead and put yay or nay on that poll. And we got just really only 3 of you that have not voted yet. So I encourage you to do so. My number again, if you have questions here, is 800-255-5055. And looks like maybe we had somebody just join us. So Thomas, if you can see that poll, I think you just joined us and it looks like you were unable to vote. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll out. And Thomas, if you have any questions, give me a call at 800-255-5055. Just ask for Steve or any sales director, and we'll be glad to get you out that registration form. But in the interest of time, I'm going to close that poll. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for voting so quickly. All right, let's get moving on. So did we skip over, or did I knock that slide? Oh, gosh, I probably did skip over that. I apologize. So want to make sure that you're all aware, because we still have plenty of time to qualify for our Top Producer Summit. We're going to be down, you and your guest will be down with us, enjoying some time at the Sanctuary, which is at Kiawah Island. The Sanctuary is a beautiful hotel. You can see from some of the pictures there, it's very old. Well, it's not old, but it has a very stately feel. I had the good fortune to be there a few years back, and beautiful hotel. And you can see from the picture there in the bottom left-hand corner, a beautiful spot right on the beach. It's a beautiful beach area there. As you look around, you'll notice from the slide here, there's a couple golf courses. One of them is a PGA course. The Kiawah Island course is notable, and we'll probably have opportunity to play some golf there. But golf is not all that the sanctuary is about. It's a beautiful area, beautiful property, lots of pools, lots of things to do right on property, and there's plenty to do around the property, not far from Charleston, about a 25-minute drive to Charleston. And so we're going to take our top 20 for a couple extra days to stay at the Charleston place. But even if you're just or one of our attendees to the base event there, you're going to have opportunity to drive into Charleston if you want and see a really beautiful area of the country. If you've never been there, I know you'll be impressed. So looking forward to having you all down there. Qualification, as I mentioned, we do an 18-month qualification, but it's still only 4.5 million, which means 4.5 million of annuity premium. So it's like if you're a producer that does about 3 million a year, you'll easily find your pace to qualify in there. If for those of you that are just getting rolling with us, you have the whole rest of the year to get qualified. It takes a little effort. We know that that's good quality level of production, but we know too it's very attainable, and that does include you and your guest. So love to have you join us. We'll be out there April 14th through April 18th on the base trip. We'll go a couple extra days for the top 20. We'd love to have you out there. All right, I'm going to get rolling here. So we already did that slide. So I want to talk a little bit. I mentioned a little bit about Dave. A lot of experience in the production world. He's like you. He is a producer that every day is making his bones just like you do out in the field. The difference, I think, that between Dave and many of our producers out in the field is he spends an inordinate amount of time and effort on marketing. And part of his marketing is Retirement Boss Radio. Part of it is seminars. He does Social Security seminars. His radio show is on 4 times, sometimes 5 times a month. It's every Sunday morning. He has an hour-long show, and he will tell you that he's getting between 2 and probably 5 or 6 leads per show. People that call in, and so it's a recorded show, and he'll walk you through that. But the whole idea is that does a show, they have interest, they call in, and an appointment is made right then, and it shows up on Dave's calendar. So really great way to meet some new folks. As I mentioned, Dave is a Social Security expert. He does some coaching with us around some of the other important things that you need to know to have the right calls to action for your radio show, as well as helping us find the right time. We've got a great group that he works with, so he can find you the right time, the right place, the right subject matter, and of course he also does show notes. So a lot of experience for us, and I'm going to let Dave know that we're going to get fired up here in just a moment. So I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll get rocking here in a sec. Thank you. So I just talked with Dave's office. He's having a little bit of a difficulty in getting aboard with us, but he will be with us shortly. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on some of the basic key information that we know is going to be important to you as you make decisions about radio. So, some of the reasons that radio is so popular, and I think more popular right now, is that it's very prevalent. So people often listen to the radio when they're driving. They are often on the radio in the morning when they're having their coffee, and during the course of the pandemic, that became even more common. And so what we do run into a lot of time, we know we've got a lot of listenership to radio, but is the right person listening? And so some of the magic in the success of radio for what we do is finding the right radio station that can get us into the right demographic. So radio in general has an older group, but what we have been able to do is find the right radio station that's going to get you in front of. Now, is a 30-year-old going to be on? Yes. But is a 30-year-old going to be interested in learning more about Social Security? No. So you're going to be talking to and getting your responses from people that are in the exact demographic that you want, that 55, 60, 65 and older age group. So radio has been very effective for us at getting in front of that right demographic. What we found too, and of course Dave would tell you, he does seminars and he does radio, both of them in tandem. And in terms of quality of prospect, he would tell you that generally his radio prospect is going to be just a little bit more upscale. They're going to have a little bit more assets to work with, likely before they take the time to call into that radio show and ask for some additional information. They've got some very specific interest, and those are relatively high net worth interests. So a lot of times it's, hey, I've got a 401k I need some help with, or, I'm not happy with the return on my larger investment accounts. And so Dave has been very happy in general with the scale of the business that he gets from radio. Does he get some 40 and $50,000 opportunities? Sure, but he gets more of those from his seminars than he does from radio. So that's really good information. Certainly, I talked about it initially. The goal of what we do with radio is to get you in front of quality prospects and make appointments. We're not. It's the goal is not to maybe get you so that your reputation is better, so that when you call somebody, you get a better response, or when you're doing seminars, you get a better response because people say, hey, yeah, I heard Joe on the radio. That's somebody that I know is quality. The goal is to get you appointments. So I want to be clear about that up front. But is radio beneficial to you in other ways? Does it establish you in your community? Does it change, maybe some conversations you have when you're walking down the street or you're in the store and see somebody that knows you by sight, and now they say, oh, I heard you on the radio Sunday. That happens all the time. Dave and I were at his uh, location is about 35 miles from where we are, and he invited me out to golf of a morning, and it was actually Sunday morning, which his radio show is Sunday morning. And I can't tell you, there are like 4 or 5 people that are like, Dave, you're on the radio and you're here golfing. How's that possible? It's, obviously, they know that it must be a recorded show, but the key is that they have listened to and know Dave from the radio. So now Dave is established as somebody that has a higher than normal level of expertise around what he's talking about on the radio, which is financial planning, retirement planning, some of the more technical aspects of financial assistance that can be provided. So what radio does is it gives you kind of that third party endorsement as an expert. People assume because you're on the radio that you know more than the average guy, and so that's very good. It also makes you very referable. So somebody is much more likely to say, hey, yeah, my financial planner is Joe. You should talk to him if you want to hear him. He's actually on the radio on Sunday mornings. That makes you a much more referable as a producer as well. And just generally, news talk radio, among the demographic that conservative investment minded professional in the 55 and older, radio is still a very hot place for them to uh, meet people that they want to do business with. So you wouldn't think that. You've got podcasts now, and you've got YouTube and TikTok and all the places that people can get information. But as far as the demo,
all the great places.
there's a lot of great places that people can get information. But for this demo, radio is pretty hot, right, Dave? You've been very happy. We talked a little bit about the happiness you've had with the prospects you've met via radio. So Dave was able. He got through his technical difficulties. Dave actually has 2 offices, and the one office, the internet connection was a little bit rugged. We were able to get him aboard, and so Dave, I'm going to hand you the steering wheel, and you can talk about Look Who's On AM radio.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I do apologize. I'm at 68 years of age. I'm not a tech wonder, believe me. I had a little internet problems, but I'm on now. Thank you very much for attending today, and we're looking forward to the weekend. So, I will say right now, radio is one of those ways to market that most advisors, most agents really don't. They don't consider it. They might think about a 30-second ad or a 1-minute ad, but when you're talking about a 60-minute ad on for 60 minutes, touting retirement planning, that's a whole other subject. Of course, Rush Limbaugh's gone now; he's deceased. But Travis and Buck kind of have taken over that, at least in our local markets here. But Glenn Beck, King Camado, Dave Ramsey, on and on and on. Why? And a lot of conservative talk. Why do they have shows? Because there's lots of advertisers and they make money. I mean, it's just kind of the it's pretty easy to figure that one out. Steve, do I have controls, or are you going to have the controls here, Steve?
You
Yeah,
should
so
have
let
them,
me,
Dave. You have
should I? Okay.
them.
Well, I wonder where they are. Come to me, please. Steve,
Yep.
you know what? Because because this is going to be a pretty short webinar. There they are. Okay, I'm going to have you do it. I can see them now. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just kind of tell you the of the flow. Just kind of keep with me on this. This is a radio show that is recorded. Retirement Boss Radio is trademarked. I trademarked it, and I do proprietary everything through Insurance Agency Marketing Services, which is my FMO, and I do all of my marketing programs through them for advisors, and run my business through them. What happens is that, let's say, and I'm making this up, but let's say you live in Salt Lake City, and you at the end here you mark, yes, I want to talk to Dave. Hey, Dave, I'm in Salt Lake. I would consider radio. What's the cost of something like that? And I would say, from just a broad brush estimate, $3,500 a month to $4,500 a month. Now that's going to take a lot of people out because they don't have that kind of budget. But if you do, it's about a dinner workshop. But you're on one of the major radio stations, like here locally, with KFAB, 50,000 watt, biggest AM station in Nebraska. Yeah, I'm on that station. It's been very financially good for Dave Pimper to be on that with Retirement Boss Radio. But you got to find, we have a media buyer that does that. So you're not out there searching all those stations and trying to make a deal and negotiating. We have a radio buyer that buys radio media, that has done it for nearly 25 years, all over the nation. He knows all the bigger stations. Now, if you're in a 100,000 person or less area, that's your community, it's going to be tough for radio to work for you. You need 100,000 or more to really be on radio and get enough calls to come on in. Okay, so he's going to go in and get that radio station. So it's kind of like real estate, location, location, location. With the radio station, it's finding the right station at the right time at the right price. There's only about half of those are we able to get. Only about half. So what happens is, we know that there are some pretty good deals out right that are on radio after kind of the pandemic, people getting back in again. And but we found about half the time we can put that together. Now the half that does work, then what happens? You need a production company, and we work with a co-host. That's from the production company. We get show notes about retirement planning that are in general. They're not specific product, but they're in general pre and post retirement lingo, and that you go from. And you should study those. And every week I study them for half an hour to an hour to really get my show, on the right foot. And then lastly, what happens is it goes to a call center. So when people call in, it's a recorded show. You record right from your office or from your home, but the show sounds live, and they call into a call center who sets those appointments. So everything is, it's like a baking a cake. There's a lot of ingredients, but the end result is very, very good. We would like to get 10 or more appointments a week. That is how it's set on up. And what happens is those are set appointments for people calling on in, and that is just pretty wonderful for yourself. Steve, I want to have you do the. I just can't find it again. I don't know what the deal. There it is. I just found it. Okay, yeah. So it's a turnkey system from start to finish, and the hour show is actually broke up into two parts. One part of that is 30 minutes, the segment that you record. The other one is you pick up 30 minutes of a show 4 times ago. So part of the show is recorded from 4 weeks ago. Part of it is brand new. Okay, Steve, I'm going to have you run the operation to move the slides. I can't do it. Keep on going to the next one now. Boom, next one. Yeah. So this just shows you this is what you get from the call center. I mean, this is exciting. In the summer, it's like Christmas during the summer months. Here's a guy turning 59 soon. They put those notes in. Hasn't settled on someone yet. He had a 401k that a seven figure. It also had questions about Social Security. We coach you up on Social Security. In fact, Steve, I did have technical problems getting in, but I had also a seminar that I had, a Fremont seminar. Normally we do 2 nights. I just jammed. I was so busy, I jammed everything into one night. But we got 16 appointments, 16 set appointments, and that was the first appointment that I had from it. And it took a little bit longer, but we got a gal retiring in 2 months, and she had questions on Social Security, but 154,000 is what's in her retirement plan. So not a big plan, but they need Medicare help too, which Sam in our office will help with that. But that would happen to come from a seminar, but we have ones like that coming on in from appointments for radio also. But they say there the date, the time, they set it all up, which is pretty exciting. If you go to www.retirementbossradio.com, www.retirementbossradio.com, it shows a white paper and some information, all of our podcasts. It's pretty sweet, and it really gives you a real good feeling of what we do. It's a turnkey system. You put the key in, and everything is set up. The engine, the wheels, the tires, transmission, differential, it's all set up. Next slide. So cost again, 3,500 to 4,500. That's probably on an average. It could be a little less. It could be more, but I would say 80% of the ones we work with probably fall between 3,000 and 4,500. There are locations available, not all, of course. I train you. I coach you up on Social Security. If you don't know Social Security, you're going to get 3 sessions. There's no cost to you. I am space for that. You also get free software. Social Security claiming software for 3 months, no cost to you. It's the studio. You do it. It's recorded. You have to buy. It's the only thing you got to buy up front. You buy a professional microphone, professional speaker, and a little professional small sound box. It'll cost you about $250, but it's portable. You can take it any darn place that you want to. But remember, turnkey. All the end result is normally very, very strong on how it sounds, and it makes almost everybody sound really good. The end result is we want to get appointments. We want to get a lot of appointments. There's an old actor, Al Jolson, said, "I'd like to do radio just like pictures leave the imperfect stuff on the cutting room floor. You can hear it's recorded. You make a mistake, you make a blooper, you start over." I've had whole shows I've done over. Just didn't like the mood, the tone, the texture of that show. I did it over again. That's pretty nice when you're instead of doing it live. And the last slide here, Steve. I always say if you heard something today that you might have an interest in, then you need to mark yes. So Steve's going to put up a yes or no. Would you like a consultation? And if you do, then Lisa Marie from IAMS will call you. She has my calendar. I'm pretty busy. I got a lot of appointments, which I love. I love helping people, but it says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. And tomorrow never comes. Never comes. Don't let that happen to you. People who take action are the people who are the most successful. If you'd like to get information, mark yes. The information is you're going to talk to Dave Pimper. You're going to talk to me, not one of my associates, but you're going to talk to me a little bit about what you're doing marketing, what you're doing. Have you ever done seminars? Have you ever done radio? Do you direct mail? Are you using one of the IAMS's programs right now? And Steve can tell you there's a lot of programs that IAMS has to get you in front of people. But remember, radio, and you get probably, I think I get 15 or 20 promos a week promoting my show, Dave Pimper with Cowton and Associates, with Retirement Boss Radio. Those promos alone would cost you hundreds of dollars if you did them on your own. They're anywhere from 15 seconds to 30 seconds long. So many times radio is a marketing source that many advisors either think is going to be way too expensive or just doesn't have someone that really has the insight, to go in and to do this. So I'm going to turn you over, Steve, and see if there's any questions there, and then we can adios for here. And I do apologize, I was a little late today.
No problem, Dave. I think everything went fine. We do have a number of questions, and so I think it's maybe review a couple of things would be good. So there are a couple of questions about subject matter, and are
Hmm.
they, where does the subject matter come from? And you might want to talk a little bit about a couple of the things that you say that make people say, "Hey, let me call that, let me call that
Yeah,
800
you bet.
number."
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, our show has an extremely strong offer. And you might think it's a teeny bit corny, but it works. I mean, maybe for the next 5 callers, if you call in the next 15 minutes, if you call by the end of the show, if you call during the show, those are all like limitations. And I'm telling you what, it gets people off of dead center. They call in and they call into the call center. We have a professional production company. They edit it, mix it. They do everything to the actual broadcast itself. But the only thing I read, I do read the intro, and I do read the offer. We have like 5 different offers, and I switch them around. But like, here's my intro. Here's the intro that I did this week. I'll do it just like I do it. I go from the talking heads on TV to that one coworker who knows everything, to your second cousin whose uncle's a bank teller. Everybody has retirement advice. So what do you think? We took to the streets. We took to the streets and asked regular folks about retirement and how they're preparing. That and much more coming right up. And then what we did like a rover interviewer, which he actually did go on the streets and he did ask about, do you think Social Security is going to be there? And Steve, what do you think the answer of everybody was when they asked that question? Like down the road in 30, 40 years, if they're younger people, Social Security be there, what do you think they said?
Oh, unless they're under a rock, they said, no, no
You're
way.
right. You're right. And with your kids and my kids, and they're educated. They're
Hmm.
smart. They are. I mean, I know your kids. They're smart. All of them don't think social. Every one of them is going to say, "I don't think Social Security is going to be there." And so what happens is that's what they did, and then we talked about that. But when you go in like from segments, here's what we talked about. Like you've reached your savings goal. It says here. Let's give you some reasons to help you decide that maybe 65 is no longer the magic number to retire. But you reached your savings goal. You need economic stability. Um, your full retirement age could be older, for Social Security in the future. Uh, just all different. Everything revolves around retirement. All of the questions, all of the topics are pre-retired or just retired, and I do different quotes too. I mean, here's a quote that I use that doesn't have. It's anonymous, but it says, "We live our lives as if they were one big emergency. We often rush around looking busy, trying to solve problems, and in reality, we are often compounding them." So I've got a quote every single show. I have a quote that I like to do, and I give normally credit that would happen to be anonymous. Like here's one. It was a quote I used a couple of shows ago by Jerry Seinfeld. Everybody knows Jerry. He says, "My parents didn't want to move to Florida, but they turned 65, and that's the law." And I say quotes like that just because they're fun. But you know what? The topics are pre-retired, just retired. They're general in nature. They're all around retirement planning. I like to have a person go about 80% from our notes. If they have a Medicare shop, you can go, or maybe you have a life insurance shop. You talk a little more about the things that you do. If you're doing fixed index, you talk a little more about the safety of principle and the guarantee that is great in times like downfalls like we've had in the last year and a half. So you certainly have some leeway. Also, lastly, I'm with a broker dealer, so compliance is a big thing. We are very compliant on this. the recording goes to the broker dealer. All the show notes go to the broker dealer. If you're an RIA, it's a little less grueling. But Steve, as you know, we have some with IAMs that are on the program with radio. I get to Mike Hansen, who is the lawyer compliance officer for your wealth management. I shoot him all of our people every week, and so he has it and he can review it and so forth. And then and if there ever would need to be a change, we normally are out at least 1 or 2 weeks until they actually air. So there's some lead time there. And then lastly, if you're a straight insurance agent, there's still regulators that could look at this, but there's a little more leniency of what you can say, especially when it comes to guarantee and safety. So it's a fun way to go in and get some 10 plus appointments per month is what my goal is, and I've exceeded the goal most every single month. It's a cool way to advertise and gives you a lot of notoriety too, almost like celebrity status. So we're not deserving, but when you get it, people come in and they're almost like they're talking to the radio guy, which is kind of fun.
No doubt. We talked a little bit about that earlier as well. So Melinda is concerned that in our show, she doesn't know that she has enough to talk about. So we just talked a little bit about some of the things that you talk about, but I think it's important for everybody to know that what you give them each week is they'll have show notes. So they'll be able to kind of go from a template. And of course, like you said, they've got a little bit of freedom. You don't want it to sound like you're reading off of a script, but you've got a pretty good solid template that you can go from every week, Melinda. So I think you'll be pleased and pleasantly surprised if that's a concern with all that you have to talk about and all the opportunities. And remember, like in the course of a hour-long show, Dave, how long are you actually recording for? What are the actual?
Well, because we only record for 30 minutes, and on that 30 minutes, you only have about 11 minutes that you're talking on the first segment, and then about 22 minutes
total.
About 22 minutes total is what you're talking. The other 8 minutes is your offer. I mean, you are talking of that, but it's your offer, which lasts about a minute. And then you've got the wrap up with the co-host, which takes about a minute. And then you've got the ads that take about a minute. So that's what, and then there normally is national ads in there too. So you basically have about 11 minutes of talking and then 4 minutes of close and then ads. And those ads promote you. Dave Pimper with Calton and Associates, your retirement boss. And, there's all different kind of ads that they have. So that's, it's slick. I mean, it's slick. It's very professionally done. I mean, Steve, you've heard it. I mean, I think it's
very good.
It's just professional as any Fox or CNN show you'll ever listen to. Absolutely.
And so she said 30 minutes question mark. So you want to talk about? She thought it was an hour show. I want to talk about how that works.
Actually, it's 22 minutes question mark. But we have show notes.
Yeah.
We have show notes, and we want you to go from the show notes. I mean, that gives you the stability that's just working for everyone in the group, and will work for you too if you follow the track.
Well, and what Dave was referring to there too, so basically what Dave does is he records his shows in basically 30-minute segments, and then like for the first four weekends, you'll record an hour, and then after that, you'll use a half hour from the first show that you did in conjunction with the new half hour. So after that first 4 or 6 weeks, you just have to record half hour show each week, and then they tandem that with a previous show's half hour. People don't recognize and don't note that they're re-listening to something that they listened to 4 weeks ago, if they even did that.
That's right.
That's how that works.
You're exactly right. Yep.
Dave has mentioned his co-host. His name is Steve. It's not me. It's a different Steve, and he does a great job. Very professional, and definitely raises kind of like the Ed McMahon. If you remember Johnny Carson from years back, or the new talk shows where they've got kind of a sidekick that every once in a while asks a question or does something to kind of keep the show going. He introduces Dave at the start, or introduces you at the start. And if you want to listen to a show, I'm gonna thank you, by the way. Everybody answered the poll, so I can take it down. If you want to listen to the show, you can do it. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. on the screen before you is coming up, Retirement Boss Radio, and you can actually listen to podcasts of the show if you want. And you can see that they're in 26.5 seconds or 26 minutes and 57 second sections. And you'll see that they go back to the show that Dave just did just this past week. And you can listen to it. And a lot of people listen to it and think, well, that's Dave. That's what Dave sounds like. But by the time they're done with you and they do the whole production, which is part of the cost, which we'll get to that question in a minute again, then that is how you will sound as well. Dave mentioned a cost on average about 35 for most of that is your cost of advertising. So is there some cost for production? Sure. Can you and I talk about maybe IAMS helping you with the cost along the way, as I mentioned at the outset? Definitely. If that's something that's of interest to you, talk with Dave. See if you think radio show might be a fit for you. Let's see if there's a time in your area available that would be a good time for you, because it doesn't do anybody any good if you're not in a good time with on the right station, and we'll make sure that that is the case for you. And if we have all that stuff lined up, then give me a call and let's talk about what we could do here at IAMS to make it more financially palatable for you to get started, because we know that once you get going and you start seeing the results and you start seeing the people coming in your door, that it's going to be, you're going to see this as a really high value thing that is part of your practice. So I think we answered, I'm just going to double check here, Dave. Yeah, it looks like, I think we've answered most of the questions. If we missed one, it looks like most everybody made an appointment or is asked to make an appointment with you. And so they can ask if there's something else that you want to chat with Dave about that we haven't covered. If I missed a question here, certainly you'll have an opportunity to talk with Dave about it then. So I want to end today where it's Friday, and a lot of folks don't even work on Friday. And here you are listening to something that's going to help you grow your business. We put a lot of value on that. We want to help you any way that we can. So we're here at the office at 800-255-5055. You'll call. Somebody's going to answer the phone. You're not going to get voicemail. And if you say, I need to speak with Steve, if I'm available, I'll hop right on the phone with you. Or you can talk to any sales director. They can certainly help you as well with your business. That's what that's the IAMS model, is that you are our customer. Our customers are very important to us. So we're going to take care of you, when you call with the live body, answering your questions. So whatever we can do to help you, you let us know. Our number here is 800-255-5055. Thanks for taking some time out of a Friday morning to join us. Thank you too, Dave. I know we got you away from some things that are probably more immediately financially valuable to you, appointments, dare I say.
I tell you what, I'm sorry I was a little bit late, but I tell you what, I had an appointment and then I had trouble getting on the line for some reason. I don't know what the heck it was, but I appreciate everybody. We had a big crowd this morning for a Friday. I think that's good, great. And you know what? It's I'm looking forward to talking to hopefully most of those and giving some good insight about Retirement Boss Radio or Social Security or seminars or whatever you want to talk about. That's what we will talk about.
Perfect. Thank you again, Dave. Thank you, everybody that joined us. Let's have a great weekend. And like I said, call us if you need something, 800-255-5055. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.